Well, how's everybody doing? Hope you're doing groovy. So, what do I have here? I have tiny magic decks. Let's take a look here. So this is world's smallest. And you may have seen these before. They do tiny toys. And do some cool things. But at some point they decided to do a couple of decks of magic cards. So Jace versus Vraska is one of the dual decks Magic Wizards of the Coast did for Magic before they gave it up. And yeah, this company decided to make tiny decks of Magic cards. So let's take a look and see what these look like. Let me get out my... I have a better knife for opening, but I can't find it, so hopefully I can open with this. No, I can't. Well, sort of. No, this knife is dull for one thing. Cool, I'm prepared for this video. Let's watch me open up impossible packaging for 5 minutes. I can do this, I swear to God. Oh. Okay, there's one deck and 2 decks. So let's do a size comparison here. So this is your standard box of this kind, and this is how big these are. So I'm excited. Let's take a look at the cards. Wow, I can't even. It's just a tiny thick box. Okay. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's tiny Jace. I didn't know I needed a tiny Jace until now. We all need tiny Jace to bless our lives. Give us good fortune. I can't open it. Look at that. Look. Try not to damage the cards. I mean, these are tiny. Oh, here we go. They feel like slightly shinier Magic cards. Oh my goodness, look at these. Hold on, let's do a card comparison here. Regular cards. So about 4 of these make a regular card, 4 to 6. That's amazing. Look at that. Tiny planeswalkers. So little. Golly, I love it. There's a tiny Aeon Chronicler. This was an okay deck. These decks are usually not, they don't throw much good in them, I'll be honest. A little Thought Scour for milling action. These really aren't good decks. Good grief. That's why they stopped the dual decks, because they put janky cards in them. Tiny Island is good to go. Another tiny island. So yeah, it's neat. It's neat. Also, looking at these, remember why dual decks failed? Because they had awful cards in them. Like, oh, you can mill opponents. Okay, so let's look at Vraska. She's a Gorgon from Greek mythology, but also in Magic. I can't open this. Okay, I'm taking this off camera because I'm fumbling around like a moron. I'm still fumbling around like a moron just for an update. No, I cannot. I don't know how cards work. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's tiny Vraska. Tiny Vraska. This card is slightly off center, but it is minuscule, so card quality is pretty decent. Take a look here. My camera's like, nope. I did notice that they do kind of, the borders kind of chip and stuff a lot easier than normal Magic cards. So that's a mild concern. I don't know if there's any way around that. But this deck is slightly better than the Jace deck, but not by much. They just put awful cards in these. They don't put anything of value. Like, let's take a look at some of the rares here. Like, this is your rare. Drilling Grudian. No one wants that as the rare in a deck. No one's saying, hey, the Drilling Plant Zombie is going to be a power card. Anyway, that's my side rant for the day. These are awful decks. God. Good Lord. That's almost okay. No, not really. Are there any good cards in these? These are all awful. I bought these original decks just for Jason Vraska, and I think the rest of the decks are just garbage. There's a tiny Guildgate. Yeah, so there you go. It'll be kind of neat to see these like a tiny commander deck, because let's face it, these decks are hot garbage. These dual decks are just like a raging dumpster fire of decks, which is why they stopped making the dual decks. Because you have one good Planeswalker and 59 cards of dumpster fire. I mean, lands are okay, but more or less. So anyway, there you go. There's a trip down tiny card land. So if you're a munchkin or something like that, halfling maybe, these will be right up your alley. So there you go. Enjoy.